Hello there, men, and welcome to the Masculinism Movement channel, a place for men to be men and talk about masculinity and men's issues. I'm your host, Brian Crawl, and today I'm going to be mansplaining to you a little bit about the concept of fallacious or fake love. But first, could I just draw your attention to the like button there for a second? You may not know this, but that's really helpful to me. But anyways, about fake love. Have you ever noticed how love doesn't have to be healthy or even real or true for you to feel it? For instance, you don't even have to like the bitch. The two of you don't even have to be compatible. You don't have to even get along. In fact, you don't have to even have anything in common. And she doesn't even have to be good to you or good for you. When asked what love means to either of you or why you love one another, you don't even have to have reasons or definitions at all. You can just say, I don't know. I just feel it. I feel it in my heart. And that statement will, in fact, be true. You can... so stupid. You can... You can feel love for someone without there being any rhyme or reason to it. You can feel love for someone when you really shouldn't. You could feel love for someone who you also kind of hate at times. And you could feel love for someone who is using and even abusing you. And you could feel love for someone who doesn't actually love you, right? It doesn't have to be mutual. It doesn't have to be healthy. It doesn't have to be beneficial to you. It doesn't have to have your best interest in mind, because the idea of love is just a nice romantic sounding way of dressing up a sexual pair bond with someone, one that is formed for the biological imperative to reproduce, and it really isn't anything more than that. The reason we partner with the opposite sex is for reproductive purposes, and those purposes alone. If we aren't attracted to someone and don't want to mate with them, it doesn't matter how lovable they are. We won't be able to pair bond with them in this way. However, when we have someone we are attracted to and do want to mate with, even if they have nothing else going for them, we will dress up this sexual attraction in whatever romantic ways we feel the need to in order to justify it as something better than just our baser reproductive instinct. It doesn't matter if the person doesn't have any redeeming qualities whatsoever. We will make some up for them. We will call our attraction to them love and romanticize it and try to make it into something else. It doesn't matter if the person doesn't have any redeeming qualities whatsoever. We will make some up for them. We will call our attraction to them love and romanticize it and try to make it into something else. Even if it's something completely imaginary, just to make it sound good enough to validate our investment in this person. Even if this person treats you terribly and wreaks havoc on your mental health and your livelihood. Even if they turn you into their own personal slave and whipping boy. In fact, you'd be astonished at how often people stay in abusive relationships because they really truly feel that they have love with that person. And it's more often men who are suffering the abuse from women than the other way around. Such things should be felt as the opposite of love, and yet we often do feel them as love. Why is that? It is because the biological imperative doesn't care about your mental health or livelihood or any of that. It only cares about the survival and success of the species. And these instincts exist to ensure the survival and success of the species by any means necessary, including rape, which is common in nature as a reproductive strategy among animals. And in humans, we will even see the same predatory tendencies that you see in animals, except humans dress it up as romance. And when a woman leaves you as a man, even if she was never actually good to you and only brought you trouble, and you should be glad to be free from her, you'll still feel emotional pain over the loss of her. You will think that it is because you really did love her and you had lost someone you were in love with. when in actuality all you lost was a sex partner. And this pain is really just the pain your reproductive instincts are feeling at the thought of not getting your sexual needs met for some time, and thus you have disrupted the sort of high that your hormones were giving you when you were with her. So you feel hurt and what we call heartbreak when you lose a lover who you didn't even have true love or real love or even a healthy relationship with. Because pair bonding isn't really about love. It's just about sex. So stop dressing up unhealthy relationships as romance, with these women who don't even have your best interest in mind and aren't even good to you. And what is essentially at its core just sex addiction. And telling yourself that you are in love with these people who all you really have is sexual attraction and chemistry with. And yes, we feel feelings when we have sexual attraction and chemistry with people. But, romanticizing them with poetic thinking is a fallacy that just brainwashes us into slavery to our baser desires. And that is something you should be avoiding because that is extremely unhealthy. And if you want to fuck, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, just go ahead and fuck. But don't let your social conditioning about how sexual partnerships should be, romanticized relationships, fool you into believing these fallacious ideals of love and soulmates and, the one and such with someone who all you're really going to have is attraction and sexual chemistry with, which will fade in time and will leave you justifying that by saying you fell out of love, when in actuality you were never in it to begin with. Because the idea of love is a fallacy. So don't brainwash yourself. And if you would like to learn more about the reasoning why and the logic and science to how love is not real and the case against it, check out the video that I did on that linked below. But otherwise, that concludes this talk. I hope I mansplained that well enough for you guys out there. Thank you for listening, and be sure to share your own thoughts and opinions on fake love by commenting below. And if you like this video, be sure to hit the like button and share these messages with everyone by sharing the video on social media and talking about these things too. And lastly, check out the links in the description below for other resources for your masculine personal development and living the life you want to as an independent man. If you can afford to donate, please do so with the PayPal link below, because your support funds me doing this work and fighting the good fight for men like you. And you can stay tuned for the next video coming out soon, which will be on the bad female dating advice that women give. And make sure you subscribe so you'll be notified when that is. And until then, take care of yourselves, men, because no woman out there is going to.